call the roll.
Glenn Whitley, County Judge.
Here.
Roy Charles Brooks, Commissioner Precinct 1.
Present.
Andy H. Wynn, Commissioner Precinct 2.
Here.
Gary Fickus, Commissioner Precinct 3.
Here.
J.D. Johnson, Commissioner Precinct 4.
Here.
Constitutes a quorum.
Thank you. Our invocation today will be delivered by Reverend Bob Wallace from the Regency Baptist Church in Arlington. Thank you very much, sir, for coming out today. After the invocation, please remain standing for our pledges.
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you today for the blessings that you have bestowed upon us as a people and as a nation and as city and county. Father, I thank you today for these leaders who have taken the responsibility of leading our county, and I ask, God, that you would give them great wisdom as they make serious decisions. Lord, you said, if any man lack wisdom, let him ask of God that gives to all men liberally and upbraideth not. And Father, I commit this session to you today for your blessing and for your wisdom. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you, Reverend. Mr. Manius?
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the Court, we have several announcements for you this morning. The first one is under Juvenile Services. It is item 8G1. This is a contract amendment with Child Advocacy. We're going to ask that we hold that particular action at this time. Also under Purchasing, item 8I1. This is bid number 2013-042. We're also going to ask that you hold action on that particular item. Members of the Court, I think last week or the last time we met, we talked a little bit about work sessions through the month of March and also of April. I want to tell you that our first work session is going to be March 26th, which is in 2 weeks. We will be talking about health benefits for active employees at that time, and this will be it's going to be interesting as we work through that particular activity, because that is going to influence what we talk about when we talk about retiree income or retiree health benefits. Also, it will impact, or it'll have some impact on when we talk about salaries and benefits for employees. So we're going to start this series, and we intend to have at least 3 workshops through the end of April. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court members, you have before you the regular minutes of our meeting of February the 26th.
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. We got a little indecision over here.
You're abstaining and voting yes or no.
Somebody's been messing with my buttons.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Commissioner Johnson, I believe you have a announcement with regards to the Tarrant County Junior Livestock Show.
Well, we've got Cindy Bryant with our extension agent's office. If she would come forward, we had a tremendous show while she's on her way up, and I spent all of y'all's money very well out there. But we made a lot of kids happy, I can tell you, at the show.
Yes, sir, and we thank you very much, which is the reason that we're here today. We have 3 of our 4-H ambassadors. We have Tressa Watkins, Luke Womble, and Sam Aviles with us today. And Tressa Watkins is going to address the court and express the appreciation on behalf of all of the youth, 4-H and FFA, that participated in the event. Thank you.
Tressa, welcome.
Tressa Watkins.
Good morning, Judge Whitley and members of the court. My name is Tressa Watkins, and I'm a junior at Aledo High School. I'm a member of the Tarrant County West Side 4-H Club. 2 weeks ago, the Tarrant County Junior Livestock Show was held, celebrating its 63rd year of operation. This year, there are 512 exhibitors with more than 1,200 fair and livestock entries. Each year, this show grows. 15 years ago, the first scholarship was given for $400. This year, $19,000 was given in scholarships to graduating seniors. This year's total sales hit a record of $242,162 with a record-setting sale on a market lamb of $10,000. My experience with TCJLS began 5 years ago as a 7th grader. I had always attended the Fort Worth Stock Show multiple times each year. My parents would say I would beg to go down every day after school during the show. I loved being with the animals and exhibits. In my first year in 4-H, I found out about this show and worked hard to get my entries prepared. My first year, I entered 2 baked goods, a sewing entry, and made items to sell in the trading post. Over the past few years, I have increased my participation by showing commercial does, market goats, broilers, and lambs, while continuing multiple entries in baked goods, photography, sewing, and selling items in the trading post. My first year, I won Reserve Grand Champion for a dress in the youth fair. I was so excited. I began planning my entries for the next year. The past 2 years, I made sale with market goat, broilers, and a lamb. Since you can only take one entry through the sale, I chose the market goat last year and the market lamb this year. Thanks to your generosity and so many in our county, numerous youth won scholarship money to help with future livestock projects and ultimately college. There are over 500 youth in Tarrant County who benefit from this show. Even though we are an urban community, our show has been very successful, allowing youth from our county to showcase their talents and skills through their fair entries such as baked goods, leather craft, horticulture, welding, goats, chickens, sheep, swine, horses, and rabbits. Unfortunately, many of our youth cannot show livestock due to living in the city and the lack of community barns for 4-H youth. Several are working to change that, searching for support to build a county 4-H barn. Each year, the number of TCJLS entries grows, showcasing more talent and the competition becoming more intense. My experiences in TCJLS have developed responsibility by taking care of my animals, dedication by sticking with the project for the year, determination to succeed, and the ability to present myself in public. Another way I have gained through my participation is being selected by being an admin assistant these past 3 years. This job gives me opportunity to help behind the scenes with the show and serve as a representative for our buyers and guests, further developing my leadership skills. TCJLS and 4-H provide numerous opportunities for the youth of our county. We appreciate the support you have given to our programs and the show. We look forward to continuing this tradition for generations to come, making improvements and reaching more youth in Tarrant County. Thank you.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Our pool that we had, if I had purchased maybe 2 more animals, we would have bought half the show. So that's what the money that I gather up from everyone in town and some out of town, that's what it goes toward. And I hope we spend it wisely, but we spend it all over the county. All the precincts were represented, and some tremendous kids out there. So thank all of you.
Thank you for what you do for those kids.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, Commissioner, you keep us on that track, and we appreciate everything you do from that standpoint each year, and you've really kept this program at the top of everybody's priority list, so we appreciate your work on that deal.
Thank you.
I have two memorial resolutions for ratification only, one for Miss Nancy Lee Muse Bass, and then also for Van Cliburn. We lost two just, pillars in our community over the last couple of weeks, and no resolution can even begin to express what they've meant to our community, but certainly we want to let them know and let their families know how much they did mean to us.
Second your motion.
I'd like to ask that the clerks reflect a second from the entire court.
Absolutely. I think that'd be great. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. At this time, we will have our employee recognition, and everybody pretty well knows the routine at this point in time. I'm going to attempt to pronounce their name, and you're going to stand up, and if you think it sounds like your name. We'll start off with the 5-year categories, and everybody remains standing until we get to the end of the 5-year categories. So that also gives you a little hint. It's alphabetical. So, this month is a little bit easier. They haven't had to, they didn't have to put the pronunciations out there for as many of them. I'll say that, and now I'll mess up more in this particular group than what I normally do. We'll begin. I know you will. You'll be right there to stand right behind me and pat me on the back and laugh when I mispronounce the names. We'll begin with our 5-year employees. Bobby Alexander, Juvenile Services. Marjorie Alexander, Justice of the Peace, Precinct 8. Linda Artus, Sheriff Confinement. Sonia Benavides, Texas AgriLife Extension Service. There she is. John Campos, Sheriff Confinement. Peggy Campos, Juvenile Services. Kevin Crowley, Sheriff Confinement. Clarence Dixon, Sheriff Confinement. Wanda Floyd Struthers, Public Health. Lalana Gaines, Tax Office. Michael Hammond, Juvenile Services. Derek Henderson, Juvenile Services. Paul Margini, Precinct 3 Maintenance. Daniel Martinez, Sheriff Booking. Vonnie Massengale, County Clerk. Laura Miller, Texas AgriLife Extension Service. Mac Neal, Public Health. Terrence Nobles, Public Health. Catherine O'Brien, Sheriff Communications. Sonia Roberts, Housing Assistance. Jorge Robles, Sheriff Confinement. Lionel Rogers, Juvenile Services. Kathleen Thomason, Public Health. Joshua Whitmire, Sheriff Confinement. Raymond Willoughby, Precinct 1 Maintenance. Catherine Wolt, Tax Office. These are our 5-year employees. Let's give them a big hand. Thank you. Now for our 10-year employees. Bill Castor, Constable, Precinct 1. Deshia Garner, Law Library. Jeffrey Green, Public Health. Anthony Jones, Sheriff Confinement. Boyd Luella, Sheriff Courts. Diane Matthews, Transportation Services. Maurice Mitchell, Sheriff Confinement. Joanna Olmus, Public Health. Sarah Overredo Perez. I know I didn't get that one right. Public Health. Did I come close?
No.
You got the Sarah and Perez wrong.
Oviedo. Sorry about that. Emmett Sanders, Precinct 4 Maintenance. And those are our 10-year employees. Let's give them a... Now for our 15-year employees. Cecil Best, Sheriff Booking. Vicky Coffey, Probate Court Number 1.
Vicky?
David Dawson, Precinct 4 Maintenance. Shane James, Sheriff Courts. Donna Mitchell, Sheriff Booking. Wanda Newton, Sheriff Booking. Emily Pettigo, Sheriff Booking. This must have been a day for booking. Everybody in booking came on board 15 years ago. Janet Plata, Human Resources. Glenn Richardson, Sheriff, Internal Affairs Division. Stacy Rudick, Information Technology. Rachel Tyler, Sheriff Booking. These are our 15-year employees. Let's give it a hand. Now for our 20-year employees, Janet Barnett, District Attorney's Office. Guy Dixon, Public Health. David Hagerman, District Attorney's Office. Donna Sneed, Purchasing. And Jan Taunton, County Clerk. These are our 20-year employees. Let's give it a hand. Now for our 25-year employee, Marie West, the District Attorney's Office. There's Marie. Marie started out with as a secretary in the Vice and Narcotics Unit. She was actually the first secretary there. She was also a paralegal for the Drug and then Auto Task Force. And then since 1999, she was a legal assistant who provided information to injured parties and then also did some interviews. She's currently the coordinator for the Family Violence Unit. When I asked her what she likes most about working for the county, she said it's the people that she's had a chance to work with and being able to be in touch with people who call in and being able to let them know that there's help for them out there. And also kind of taking some of the mystery and the frustration out of the legal system. And I think that's something that, we all kind of, we're not sure what to do or who to talk to, and Marie has helped people as they go through that. When I asked her, kind of what had happened over the last 5 years, she said, well, we continue to grow, and that growth really impacts all of us. She said, we actually are now working with people who come here from all over the world. And she really said, I really want to speak to the dedication of the law enforcement folks as a whole and their commitment to the domestic violence area. She said what we really try to show there is that in that whole process that everybody needs to respect everybody. And if that would happen, then we wouldn't have the cases of domestic violence that we have. And we were talking a little bit about the fact that we're really kind of beginning to work with One Safe Place and Women's Haven and with the mayor and with a number of other folks to really see if we can't do more about keeping domestic violence at the forefront of everyone's mind. And really, especially as men, we need to be saying to other men that it's not acceptable to hit, it's not acceptable not to show respect to women in any way, shape, or form, and that as individuals, when we see other men doing that we need to step up and say that's not acceptable. And so those are things that, that she's dealing with every day. She says, I am very, very proud to have been a part of Tarrant County and the services that we performed for the last 25 years. And Marie, we are very proud that you have been a very integral part of the services that we provide. Thank you for your 25 years. Now, our 30-year employee, John Thompson, was not able to be here. He is out on medical leave, and but please, as you talk with John, congratulate him on the 30 years of service that he's given at Tarrant County. Again, thank all of y'all. This is about a little over 600 years of service to the county, and we appreciate that very, very much, and appreciate everything that you do for us. This is only a very, very small way to try to express to you our deep appreciation for everything you do for the county and for the citizens of Tarrant County. You work together. You work with your individuals. As I hear many, many times, you are a family. You treat each other as a family with respect, but you also, regardless of the individuals that you come in contact with, regardless of the environment that they're in at that particular point in time, you show them respect, and you really try to help them understand the system, understand how to move through that system, and for that we certainly want to express our appreciation. Refreshments in 504C. It appears as though Wilder's not here, so if you get back there quickly, you might beat him to the refreshment table. But I'd hurry. So with that, we'll just kind of recess for just a moment and let y'all head back that way. Thank you again. Court members, you have before you the consent agenda with the one item noted that, that we're going to hold for a week.
There's two items, wasn't it?
I
Or
think,
did I miss one?
I think one of them was actually an action item. There were two items that we were holding, but only one of them was a consent.
Right.
Okay.
You're right.
Move approval of the consent agenda minus the item that we're holding.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Mr. Manion.
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the court, we have 4 additional items this morning. I'm going to do 1, 3, and 4, and then I'm going to ask Ms. McMillan to come up and do item number 2. If we can go to item number 1, we're requesting that the Commissioners Court approve an MOU between the City of Fort Worth and Tarrant County as it relates to the 2012 BJA Justice Assistance Grant.
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Members of the court, if we could go to item number 3, we're requesting that the court review and approve an exception to the county's travel policy for within-region travel. This pertains to Constable Precinct 1 employee. They will be attending a training center seminar at Rockwall, Texas.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Members of the court, if we can go to item number 4, we're requesting that the court concur and approve with the Hospital District Board of Managers to pay into the Registry of County Court at Law number 1 of Tarrant County the sum of $4,937,933. This is for actual damages that will occur on the affected property owners, which property is located at 150 West Arkansas Lane in Arlington. What this is a condemnation. It's been before you before, and this is just going through the legal process. We're requesting your approval.
Move for approval. Second.
You got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Members, if we could go to item number 3, Ms. McMillan is here to address the court at this time.
Item number 2, isn't it?
Item number 2.
I'm sorry, item number 2.
Judge, Commissioners, good morning.
Good morning, Lisa.
At the end of last year, the City of Mansfield made a presentation to Commissioners Court on its proposed tax increment reinvestment zone that would provide for the revitalization and redevelopment of the historic Mansfield area along Main Street. And they asked for a county's participation in that TIF zone. Since that time, the City Council has established the zone. The Tax Increment Financing Board, with a county representative, has met and approved the project and financing plan for the zone, and the City Council has approved those plans. Today, they're asking for the county to consider approval of the participation agreement for the zone. As set forth in that agreement, the zone would pay for approximately $15.1 million in infrastructure improvements along the historic Mansfield area. The City of Mansfield is participating with 100% of its increment and has requested the county to provide 75% of its increment in the funding of the zone. As set forth in the agreement, the county would participate with 75% of its increment for a period of 25 years of the zone, or until the maximum contribution of $3,307,836 has been reached. The county will continue to receive annual tax revenue on the current base value of the zone and the remaining 25% of the incremental value generated and all personal property tax revenues within the zone. The hospital district is not being asked to participate, and the college district is not either. So it's only the county and the city providing funding for the zone. The county's funding will be approximately $3.3 million, and the city will be providing about $11.8 million for the funding of the zone. So today we're asking you to consider approval of the attached resolution and participation agreement providing for the county's participation in the City of Mansfield Tax Increment Financing Reinvestment Zone number 2, Historic Mansfield.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Tidwell. Whoop. Ms. Tidwell's lost some hair. Get ready.
Morning, Judge,
Get used to it.
Commissioners. You have before you today for your consideration to receive and file the January 2013 Tarrant County financial statements.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to receive and file the January 2013 financial statements. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Welcome aboard. Ms. Snyder.
I did look, in fiscal year 1998, we approved 5 booking clerk positions, so it looks like they're all still here.
They are.
Now, whether they originally came to work in those positions or not, I don't know, but there was a correlation. And Risk Management Board is recommending the payment of the 3 claims that are listed on your agenda.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Mr. Phillips.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It is requested that Commissioners Court approve a real estate contract sale with the Fort Worth Independent School District to sell the Tarrant County Education Center building located at 401 East 8th Street, Fort Worth, Texas.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion. Again, I think we've had a very good conversation about this. I think we have, brought it up, discussed it. I'm going to not be voting for that, but not because of the fact that I don't support the concept of the Young Women's Leadership Academy. I think it's absolutely fantastic. And I think the need for schools in downtown Fort Worth, with the growth that we've got going on, especially with the Trinity River Vision, I think we're going to find more and more needs for schools downtown. I just don't believe in this particular instance that this is the best location. We've got a growing area, and the school district certainly has addressed the fact that they will not oppose anything going in those vacant lots that would be in that H zoning area, which is basically your restaurants and more retail type stuff. So certainly I understand that they've covered that. But I do have some problems with, and continue to have problems with, the intermodal center being the hub of our downtown transportation, and that is going to prevent certain individuals who have restrictions as to how close they can get to a school from being able to come in and to utilize that facility. And that's a big concern. But again, I think we've had a good dialogue. I appreciate the process that Superintendent Dansby and other folks have gone through. I know the city of Fort Worth is looking at that area and as far as the development of that area. And I think we've had a good discussion. So we'll go forward, and if there's no other discussion, please vote. Motion passes 3-2.
Thank you.
No, I don't talk. Don't even
Ms.
talk.
Glenn.
Good morning. We have 5 items for the court this morning. The first item, we're asking the court to receive and file the personnel agenda.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to receive and file a personnel agenda. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Our second item, we're asking the court to approve the interlocal agreement between the North Texas Council of Governments and the member entities of the Public Employee Benefits Cooperative. Just so that the court is aware, the governing board approved this budget during its January 17th meeting. The fiscal impact is outlined in your court communique. We're estimating to be approximately $474,769.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Item number 3, we're asking the court to approve an addendum to the agreement with Rockport Community Network for Workers' Compensation 504 Medical Provider Group. You have one agreement before you this morning for consideration, and again, as a reminder, these agreements, the fiscal impact associated with these agreements are $225 to be charged to the Workers' Comp Self-Insurance Fund.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Item number 4, we're asking the court to approve changes to the table of organization to add 2 new positions to public health. The specific positions are outlined in your court communique. Public health is asking for the creation of these positions effective March 13th. There is no impact to the general fund as these are grant-funded positions.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Our 5th and final item, we're asking the court to approve a waiver of terminal benefits for information technology. Financial manager retired at the end of January with 400 vacation hours. IT is requesting a waiver of 176 of those hours effective March 13th. We're estimating the net impact to the general fund to be approximately $610, excluding fringe benefits.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Brewer.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Public Health has 2 items for your approval this morning. The first is a contract with Anderson and Rohr CPAs for technical services associated with Public Health Department's Texas Medicaid 1115 waiver delivery system reform incentive payments projects, or otherwise known as the DSRIP projects.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Our second item is a monetary award of $2,500 from the Food and Drug Administration. Our environmental health unit received this funding or this recognition as a result of meeting one of the national standards. It's a voluntary standard for retail food safety inspections, and this was in the category of individual and community relations.
And the prize went to the Public Health Department?
It's not a prize. It's a recognition for meeting the standard.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Beecham.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have 2 items for your consideration this morning. Our first item is a bid award recommendation for RFP 2013-044. This is our annual contract for van conversion for our prisoner transport vans and miscellaneous vehicle alterations. Recommendation would be to award to the primary vendor, Rush Truck Center, and selecting as our secondary vendor, Tri-State Fleet Management.
Move for approval. A second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Our last item is also a bid award recommendation for bid 2013-045. This is our annual contract for miscellaneous office furniture. A recommendation would be to award on a per unit price basis and a discount off the list price, awarding to, in most cases, a primary, secondary, and alternate vendors for 8 different brands of furniture as shown in your court communique.
Move for approval.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Riley? Nope. Ms. Green?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Transportation has 4 items on the agenda today, and I'm going to present the first 2 items to you, and Randy Skinner is going to present the next 2. Item number 1, we're requesting the Commissioners Court to approve an order to close, abandon, vacate, and a discontinued portion of White Settlement Road, which is County Road 4022, consisting of .652 of an acre, located north of existing White Settlement Road and to the west of Roberts Cutoff Road, and it's a portion of a right-of-way established by Court Order number 232 in the Commissioners Court records, and further described in the Commissioners Court minutes, Volume 3, pages 242 and 243 in the Commissioners Court records of Tarrant County. This road is within the city of Fort Worth, but in order to clear title, the developer that's developing the property needed the Commissioners Court to abandon any interest it may have had in this road. The road was actually relocated several years ago, and a new bridge was constructed, and this has been sitting vacant and discontinued for several years.
Would you read for me the amount of acreage again that you had in there?
.6520,
Okay,
which is 28,403 square feet.
okay. For some reason, I thought I'd heard a different number.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
The second item for your consideration is we are requesting the Commissioners Court to approve the disposal of surplus property located at 205 Bob White Trail in Burleson, Texas, by donating it to a Tarrant County Housing Partnership, which is a charitable organization who will use the property for a public purpose. The public purpose is to rehab houses. We acquired this property under the flood mitigation program, and there are several items within the house that are very nice. It was only remodeled 5 years ago, and this nonprofit can use this to rehab houses for underprivileged people. It's no cost to the county. The county will still have to demolish the entire improvement once they've taken these items out of the house.
Move approval.
Second.
What organization are we giving that to?
It's the Tarrant County Housing Partnership, and they work very closely with the Community Development Department.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Mr.
Thank
Skinner.
you. Mr. Skinner.
Morning. We just have two additional items for your consideration. We are requesting your approval of an interlocal agreement with the City of Grapevine related to improvements to Bass Pro Drive. This project is included in the 2006 Transportation Bond Program.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
And for our last item, we are requesting your approval of a renewal agreement with the City of North Richland Hills related to improvements to North Tarrant Parkway. This project is nearing completion. This is for the last payment.
Move for approval. What are we waiting on? Move for approval, but.
We're at this point, we're just writing.
I'll second so you can discuss it.
Oh, we're just waiting for the final punch list items to be completed and for us to receive the last invoice.
We have motions and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Commissioner Johnson, you have a interlocal agreement, I believe.
I do. Item 8M, 1, A and B. I would move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Any appointments today? Being none, then you have before you the claims, including the addendum.
Move approval of the claims, including the addendum.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the claims, including the addendum. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Briefing items, Mr. Manius?
Thank you, Your Honor. We have one item that we will bring to you this morning, and that is simply the legislative update. This is for weeks 8 and 9. Just one comment. We thought that as we were going into week 9 that the number of bills that would be eventually filed would be a smaller number than it was last year. And we filed close to 1,500 bills, my understanding, on Friday. So we're about where we're at last year. So I'll try to answer any questions that you might have as it relates to this. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. And we'll now recess our open meeting and proceed to close to discuss items exempted under Section 551.071, 072, 074, 076, and 087 of the Texas Government Code. Yep, Margaret Kelleher.
Okay.
Having returned from our closed session, there being no business to conduct at this time, we are adjourned.